because if you educate such students, that's great future for India, not only for India.
That's really great. And we have Devlina here, the person who made the promotional activities.
Thank you, Devlina. It was really a big surprise for me. And you even matched the person at the end. It looks like me, except he has more hair than me, sorry. So I had it in the past. It's a long time ago. I have a long hair at that time, but it's very long time.
It's great that you liked the video.
It was really great. You made it, you know, it shows up that the previous keynotes really landed with you and you explained it very well. I am not able to make, I know there exist a doodle tools and so on, you know, I know they exist, but I do not have time to spend with it. And I am really happy you did. And if you will allow me, I already uploaded to my YouTube channel. I would like to use it to show it because it's great work.
That's really great, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And if you wish, we could also make a lengthy video of your explanation if you need one such. We are ready to do it.
Everything what the new generation, you use different tools than me. I use pen and paper. Of course, I use the computer, but for me, it's a tool. But you know how to work better. I have 18 years old daughter, so she is better in a computer. She's animating things as well. So these are the skills which you have and I don't have. But if we put them together, we will be able to speak to much bigger audience. And this is exactly what we should do. You will hear it in the keynote. So that's the way how we should do it. And I think it's the only right way. Cooperation, harmony, not just me delivering something or the teachers, even the students has to deliver. And this is great. So thanks a lot, really.
Pleasure is all us. And Mr. Michael Rera, like we went through your LinkedIn and we saw you have given a keynote to the Bangladesh. You had a session earlier too. Like I just wanted to know, like, how do you manage your time? Like I saw you plenty amount of time in LinkedIn. I saw you posting in here, there, like you're very rapid. I'm a person of, let's say, below 25 years old, but I couldn't keep up the fast pace. Like, how do you manage it?
I will tell you, it's not a joke. A few years ago, just before pandemic, there was one Czech user, LinkedIn member, who make an analytics, who from his quite a rich network on LinkedIn, make most posts within a year. I beat globally IKEA. So I have more posts than IKEA. It's on a global scale, which is crazy. I am the only one in my company. I'm the only one, but I manage people in 94 countries. But how I do it, it's quite interesting. I changed the way how I'm working. All my life I was a multitasker and very efficient one. But when I reached 40s, I learned that I'm not so good anymore, and I started to change the way how I work. I was looking for another way, and because I did not find it, I developed the methodology myself for my own work, and I call it core task management. And there is a very big difference between multitasking and core task management. In multitasking, there is one big disadvantage. Generally, you are never finished. When you finish one task in multitasking, your brain told you, don't be happy because something else is waiting for you. So you generally never reach a feeling of the victory. Yes, I did. Because the brain says, sorry, you did not. And this is the big disadvantage of multitasking. And I realized that, and I recognized that, and I started to develop another tool. I call it core task management. How it works? generally, I divided my work into small tasks which can be fulfilled almost immediately. For example, if I write a blog, I write it for 10 or 20 minutes, but this is one core. But the next core is to upload it. The next core is to control it somewhere in 1 month, 3 months time before it's being published. And what is important that between the cores, there is different activity, different core. So if there will be a core from this, write it, publish it, control it, then it will be multitasking. But if I write it, then there is, I wash the dishes, then maybe I go to load a truck, then something, and then come the uploading, then it's core task management. And what is great about the core task management, this is the core generally, that the tasks are so small that you can fulfill them almost immediately. And they give you this feeling, yes, I did it, and the brain accepts it. So I recharge myself during the work. Generally, it's permanent recharging, like recuperation if you have an electric car or bike or unicycle as I do. So I regeneratively recharge during the work. It's like speed how it's called, speed meditation generally. There exists a speed meditation. I make yoga for some time, and this is a very similar, but it's more applicable to real world. Some people even ask me to teach them this, so it's not so easy. So we have 6 more minutes. I can't hear you.
So am I audible now?
Yes.
I mean, that was something really amazing, the way you have explained it. It's like we, as students, we struggle a lot with time management. And the way you have given us the insight, the way you have thrown light on it, it's something we are going to apply on our lives.
Try it. It's the great about it. You can try it immediately, but be careful. There is one difficulty. Generally, we are used that our work, they are longer. The work is longer, so we do not want to accept this small core task. You really have to learn it, to divide your standard work into much smaller parts. But if you do, if you adopt it, you will be as effective as I am. And as I said, I can, today I was in 7 countries already, having meetings. I had a meeting in a factory in the meantime. I posted, I don't know, 20, 30 posts already, supporting even this event. So try it. And if it works, then just make it, make more. So more tasks into core task management. And I wish you all to work with you, same as with me. For example, I will have a trouble to go to school. I was never on university. I do not have a university degree myself. And I really, it's fascinating for me how you can accept so much knowledge in such a short time and learn. I see it at on my daughter at the moment. And I cannot learn this way anymore. I cannot learn this way. But I learn by doing. That's a difference for me. But I think you can apply core task management within study. I think it's applicable. And I would be happy if you tell me if it works or not. We can have one day core task management lessons where you will teach, not me. I will just listen and learn.
That would be a huge pleasure for us to do something like that. And also earlier when you were talking about core task management and the session, so hopefully we'll have a session about that as well one day, if you allow.
I will be happy. You know, it's part of this wasteless world journey, because I don't have a reason why not to share. The only difference is to your teachers is that I'm a simple man. I cannot explain it in complicated math and forms and whatever. I just explain it with my words, what I lived, what I did, and it's up to you if you will adopt it or not. But I will never share something what is bad and what did not work for me. I have to try first. If it works for me, I am open to share. If it does not, I am looking for solution how it will. So I will be happy. We just have to plan it and we will see. It's really simple. So we just have to try together.
And that's really great, Mr. Michael Reda. I'll just make a small announcement to the people who have joined. So there were a few questions from the people as the meeting already started. So to the audience, the webinar haven't started. We haven't entered into the webinar. So we are just interacting with one of the superhuman available here. So the man in the vibrant energy. So we are just so much excited. So it went like a very casual talking and something to be taken for future. But the webinar haven't started it. It will start in the next 1 or 2 minutes. So hold your breath. You haven't missed anything. So everything is awaiting.
So we still
I
have
just
So
do not
sorry.
want to waste the time, because if I am earlier and I like to come earlier, let's use the time to talk, because this is the way how it's everything built. And I am really looking forward to the questions of the audience. And I made a lot of promoting after receiving it. So I hope there will be big audience.
We'll surely take the questions of the audience once we are done with the session, but we'll also be having a panel, like a 5-member panel that they have their set of questions that we'll be asking. So even more than you, we are excited to get the answers of the questions that we have, that they have, and get the best out of this session.
Exactly.
I'd like to add one more announcement to people. Your mic has been muted for some time until the initial webinar starts. So your mic has been muted. Somebody who wants to talk, you can raise your hands, you can add the reactions here. So when we are going for the questionnaire, like everybody's mic will be unmuted and you can access the chat box as well, right? So don't get like little annoyed, like you will have your chance of talking and interacting. So initially it's been suspended, right? For the people to join.
So we'll be waiting for just 1 minute and then we'll start exactly at 7 p.m. IST, sorry. So it's time. I'll start. Michael, can we?
Yes.
So good evening and good afternoon and a very warm welcome, everyone. I am Kashish Wadhwani, your host for the day. And today I welcome you on the behalf of whole Chanakya Club, Mittal School of Business, lovely professional university. And thank you so much for being here with us. And we hope that you enjoy. So before we actually begin the session, there is something very important that we need to discuss, that is SDG. So SDG is nothing but Sustainable Development Goals, which is also known as global goals. And these were adopted by the UN in 2015. So every country, every MNC, every NGO, they work together deeply to bring more changes in the society. Now, there is one question, which is, why is this SDG important? What are we doing it? Right. So the SDGs, they provide you a worldwide guidance. It is more like an umbrella that covers all the global challenges that are faced by the international community. So in short, it is about protecting the natural foundations of our life and also our planet. Why are we doing this? What are we doing? So we in Chanakya, we are working together on this to bring a change, slowly and steadily, doing everything that we can. So we have had expert talks about no poverty, gender equality, zero hunger, quality education, etc. We have also published blogs to support our vision. Today, in this session, we will be discussing about building a waste-free world. While the biggest country in this, not the biggest, but the country with the most progress has produced around 236 million tons of municipal solid waste every year. So you imagine how much waste there is. And some estimates go as high as 7.6 billion tons of industrial waste produced every year. Some big cities have to ship their municipal and industrial waste, paying other states to take it for them. So if we take it in simple terms, the waste that we have to produce, we have to take other countries' help to just take it out of our country. So this is a very big problem. I hope you people agree with me. So in order to deliver such a socially responsible subject, we have a subject matter expert here, Mr. Michael Rada, which we are very glad to host today. Welcome, sir. Now, Mr. Michael Rada is the founder and leader of Industry 5.0, designer and leader of industrial upcycling, president and project father of IBSCD Lab SRO, and chief designer of logistics efficiency design. He specialized in cost reduction issues and focuses on creating approach from a cost center to profit center, reducing negative environmental impact of GSC, so as for increase of packaging and processing efficiency. He has shared his knowledge in several academic conferences and sessions about implementation of Industry 5.0. And you will be very amazed that before this session today, he also gave a keynote to the Bangladesh government on the implementation of Industry 5.0. So without wasting much time, let's hear from him on how to create a sustainable future and build a world that is free of waste. So welcome, sir, to the virtual podium.
Thank you very much. I am really honored to be, for the 5th time already, on board of the university. And this talk is 185th university talk I delivered already in the last year. So it's quite interesting opportunity for me. And you name it exactly right. We have the problem and it's called waste. We are not living in an ice age. We are living in a waste age. And we are the first generations who do this, which is a pity. And because I was several times on your university already, and many of you know some of my keynotes, and I know it because your questions, and I have seen a lot of, I prepared quite a special keynote this time. I prepared an explanation how I came to it, how it is possible that somebody like me, a simple man, with a simple aim, created an industry which is right now being named one of the leading industrial trends of the decade. So if you let me, I will share my screen, and I hope you will enjoy the presentation, the keynote, and I am really looking forward to the panel at the end and to the questions, because I love questions. So let's see the screen. Please tell me if it will not move properly, because I have animations there. So we are here. Let me go to the talk, and here it is. So my presentation name is called Every Hero Start with Zero. And it has a reason, because I am a zero. I don't feel myself as a hero. You know, the zeros are frequently much more important than the heroes. Not when they are at the beginning, but if you have a number, a salary, and there is one more zero at the end, you will be much more happier. So why zeros are seen negative? So my name, as it was said, is Mike Rada. I am human, and I'm very proud of this title. And I'm the founder of Industry 5.0. And I will tell you the journey which I made because it's quite long, it's 50 years long. And my journey begins on 24th December, 1971. I was born at a day, on a Christmas day. And at the time I started to learn. I started the education journey, as I call it. But then there came another day. It was the day when I started to write and publish. It was last year of my secondary school. And it was 3 days after the Velvet Revolution ended the communist time in my country. the socialist time. And I wrote my first public, generally poem, and I was almost fired from the last year of the school. And I was told that I should never write again, but it made me strong, and I wrote, and I started to write every single day. And it helps me in the future. And the third day, which is very important for me, is the 22nd of October, 2003, because my daughter was born. And I started to work twice so hard to be able to feed my family and to deliver the results. But then all these has been the times when I was an employee. Then there came another day, a day when I left the safe position of a senior manager in a European division of second largest Japanese corporation. And I started from zero again. I started in another mine, in a blue collar, again from zero, because I realized there is something wrong. The next day of 6 was the 22nd of October, but 2014. My daughter was 11, and my own company, the first in my life, was registered. I cannot choose the day. It was given to me, and successfully it was the same day as my daughter was born. And from that moment, my reach grows much bigger. And the last date was 1st December 2015. It was the day when I published an article which completely changed the life, and not only my own, but many all around the globe, because at that date was born Industry 5.0. And the planet became my workplace. When I was an employee, I have 15 employers in 23 years, and I work in 6 countries. But when I started to be entrepreneur, I was one entrepreneur, and I created only one company. And this company has one workplace, and this is the planet called Earth. There has been tools which I have used. When I was a young, there has been my friends in the school, in the kindergarten. Then it came the school and university in a matter of secondary school. Then I was intended to be the best in the work all the time. So I deliver, and I learned 4 languages at that time. And for my career growth, I utilize one thing. All the time, I would like to be the best, no matter what I have been doing. All the time, I try to intend to be the best. Then I start, and I decided that my aim, and the only aim which I have, is to build Wasteless World. I left the company, and I started from zero. And my title, which was once a president as well on my business card, changed to human. At the beginning, I was living in a small village or small city. For you in India, it will be a really small village. It has only 3,000 inhabitants. But then my area was a little bit bigger. The next bigger city, our capital. And I reduced the languages which I have used. I have learned Russian for 12 years because we have to. We have been under the supervision of Soviet Union. So here has been stationed the soldiers of Russia for 21 years. So my entire first 18 years of my life, I was not living in a free country. Then when I started to work, I work in Germany, in Austria, in Surabaya, in Indonesia. I started really to go global. But firstly, when I became entrepreneur, the scope was much more bigger with industrial upcycling, with Industry 5.0. At the beginning, I used games to learn. Then I learn and study. After that, I have the professional experience, which I collected. And at the end, only Czech language, English stays, because German, I do not use it for the last 20 years, probably. Still understand it, German. And why I was growing so fast is because I did all the time more than it was requested. I never asked what should be done. I did it, and then I deliver the results and I show it. When you start something completely new, not a Facebook, because Facebook is here, so it will be not a new one. But if you start something new, as I did with industrial upcycling and Industry 5.0, it's called Blue Ocean Project. And I started 2 in my life, and many small blue ocean projects as well. But Industry 5.0 is the biggest because it's the first industrial evolution ever led by man, by human. And what is the meaning? This is a part of presentation which you maybe already have seen. If not, it will be new to you. We are living in beautiful cities, like Roubaix in France, like Paris, like Pilsen. This is the city in which, this is the building in which I am right now speaking from. We are living in beautiful cities which we filled with trash. We work in factories which produce in one day more trash than a city in a month. And we produce products which frequently, before reaching the end user, become trash as well. And we store them in big metal houses filled with air, and we call for more to be built, to store more trash inside. And at the end of our shift, we go next to the output of our production. These are real images I took from my projects. These are carpets for cars and the cut-offs, which did not fit in a waste container anymore within one and only shift. And we come home and we maybe realize that something what was called food before, it's called bio-waste today. And we look at the red sky, and today in the morning was exactly this red sky here because of the dust from Sahara Desert. And we ask ourselves, where do we live? I will tell you that we are living here on this beautiful planet. In English, it's beautiful name, blue marble. But a few years ago, I realized that this planet, around it, is 170 million pieces of space debris, space trash, pieces smaller than 10 centimeters, 750,000 of 10 to 30 centimeters, and 85,000 above 30 centimeters. There is a landfill on our orbit. Landfill created by people within few decades time. And what we do to the planet itself, we dig and hunt for only criteria of success, which is more, no matter what, more money, more cars, more people, more houses, more companies, more. Ask Fortune 500 how they make this leather. Ask Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos. More is the only criteria of success, no matter what. And this is what we do to the planet. We are living here together with 7.9 billion people. Not knowing that in 1812, during the first global counting, the people came to 1 billion only. 100 years later, 1912, it was 1.5 billion, which means that despite of 2 world wars, 2 world pandemics, we have 5 times more people living on the planet. And what is strange that in 2050, some predict there should be 11 billion people living on the same planet. And just now remember the last image I showed you, how we behave to the planet itself. What is the reality? The reality is that the World Bank predicts that there is more than 100, that till 2050, the waste volume should grow. In some destination, it should double. In the same report presented by World Bank, it says that almost everything can be reused or repurposed, but in fact, it's only 13.5% really reused, which means we throw away and wasted is 86.5% of everything what we produce. This is why the waste industry is at the moment the 3rd most profitable industry in the world. The first one is the war industry, and the second crude oil industry. And if we do not change our behavior, we will live on a planet on which war and waste will rule our lives. And I decided not to. We are living on a planet in 206 countries, according to UN 197. We are speaking 7,000 languages, riding 1 billion cars. And despite all of that, we let 9 million people die hungry, despite the fact that we throw away 23.6 million tons of food and crop every single day. We let 800,000 people die thirsty, despite the fact that only California crude oil industry is consuming every single day 347 million liters of drinking water. We are carrying our drinking water in firefighting tanks, not knowing that the same amount of water is needed to produce just one and single hamburger. And we do it on a planet where even this image is a reality. This is not a parking place. This is a graveyard of new cars. Cars which are being produced to never be sold, not to spoil the market price. This is not an image from a landfill, no. This is a world renovated company which has walls filled with environmental certificates. And behind the wall, the same company creates this. We grow our food to throw it away because the leaves are not green enough for the buyer in a chain store. In December last year, avocados grow too much in Australia. 80% goes to landfill. That's me. After loading all these cars by my hand on the truck to save them from being landfill. They are single-use packaging. And I have to load 7 tons in 1 hour time. Trust me, it's not easy for 50 years old man. But I do it because I build Wasteless World. How I do it? I work usually every day from 5 to 5 in the office, then I work at home. There are 7 days to change the world, and I use every single one of them. I prepare education systems. I rode over 300,000 kilometers in my car, 50,000 on my electric unicycle. There was no incentive, no funding, no donors, nothing. But there was one intention, which I stick with, to build Wasteless World. I have prevented in the 7 years more than 1 million metric tons of products to become waste. I have written and published over 3,500 articles, made 250 speeches, realized over 120 projects. And at the beginning of 2021, I have started to create Global Industry 5.0 network. I have started generally a little bit earlier. I have a concrete day. It was October 14th, 2020. And you know what? The first ambassador in the world, first Industry 5.0 ambassador, is sitting in India. His name is Shivrao Chala, the CEO of 3R0 Waste Company. And he became the very first ambassador in the world because 1.5 months earlier, I have delivered a keynote speech to CII, Confederation of Indian Industries. And after this keynote speech generally started the age of Industry 5.0 in India. I have over 1 million views. And since that date, India is on the best way to Industry 5.0 to Wasteless World. These are some of the ambassadors. I made changes in 126 countries already. And on January 7th, 2021, European Commission adopted Industry 5.0 in the European Sustainable Development Framework. And on October 19th, 2021, United Nations spoke about it in their World Investment Forum. That's all. It is important to understand that everyone can become entrepreneur and change the world, but not the employee. If you want to become employee, somebody else will decide whether you can or not. Money is not as important as the aim and endurance. And everyone can change the world. I am just a simple man, and I'm proud of it. It's not a shame to ask for advice. And we all have the possibility to use the internet communication tools, thanks to which I can speak from Czech Republic to you in India and to many in the world, because I know there are many listening. It's not a shame to learn from the mistakes of the past, but we have to acknowledge there are mistakes. We have done that. Don't try to erase these mistakes from your memory, because otherwise you will repeat them. There is no reason why to copy ideas of the others. Let's create new blue ocean projects. And please, remain human. Because that's very important. We all are living in the times of digitalization of our work. You are living in the years for second year in a time when your education was digitalized. And our leisure time, thanks to mobile phone, computers, and many more, has been digitalized long time ago. So it looks like that the only failing point is that the human was not digitalized himself. But if we do so, our home will look like this. And that's not a mistake, because data don't need any light. I have decided a decade ago that this is not my home. And I started to build another home, wasteless world. That's my home. And this is what I do for the last 9 years, because everyone can decide. And on January 1st, 2022, I have launched, thanks to Industry 5.0, new project. It's called 17th. And I will tell you something about it. I have told you that I started to build the Wasteless World Network on the January 1st, 2021. This year, on February 2nd, 2022, this represents my network, 94 countries. We are covering 84% of global population, giving the access to systematic waste prevention. And I spoke about the Project 70. This is our logo. It shows the earth in all its beauty, with the snow, with the sun, with everything inside. You may ask how I can build a global physical network within just 1 year time. You know, the network consists of another humans to which my intention to build Wasteless World speak. And before you can become an ambassador, and there is only one ambassador per country, there cannot be two, you have to accept the principles which I specified in a document called Decathlon. And here they are to learn, because I needed every single one is honest, open, and respect all without prejudice. I need that everyone work transparently, is ready to share the profit and work efficiently in every single project. I need that the results are delivered first, then can come the reports. And it is needed to protect the name of Industry 5.0 because it's misused by any who say it's just a sales tool or a buzzword. Today in the morning, Google delivered to me more than 220 results of companies using the name just as a buzzword. So it's needed to be protected. And it's needed to understand that human has to be first all the time, profit later, sustainable in economy and ecology. And everyone who should join and who will join must change first, because only so you will become the role model for all. It is important to share, educate, support the change and mindset to change the mindset from wasteful to wasteless, and be consistent and curious in everything what you do, because then nothing will stop you, and reduce your own waste footprint. This is something what you can check, not like 1.5 degrees. No, you will see that you produce less waste if you will see less waste in your garbage bin. And please, be the first all the time who is on the construction road and construction site of Wasteless World. I am usually starting my day at 4 in the morning or at 5. You have mentioned at the beginning the SDG goals. I have them in my presentation as well, but maybe you will be surprised. There's a lot of talk. I get a lot of questions whether Industry 5.0 is circular economy, whether I do adopt and respect SDG goals. Frequently, my answer is no. And I will explain why. That does not mean that the principles are wrong. No. It means that the way which is used is not in line with my opening. If we speak about circular economy and we imagine that our tool is a rope, so what we will do, if it's a circular, we make a circle. We put people around. But the issue is that the environment did not tell to people in which direction they should pull. And if you turn the circle, what will happen? You will stay in the circle. Okay. Then in 2015 came SDG goals. And if I'm asked why I'm not respecting SDG goals, I have to say, because I have one aim. And this was defined 4 years before SDG goals has been named. SDG goals means that this one rope is being divided in a small threads, and people are asked to pull, but they are not given the right instruction in which direction and at what time they should pull. And then I have to come with Industry 5.0. And this is, I use the rope as a rope. I let the people stand next to it, and I tell them when, in which direction we must pull. And this is how we have achieved more than globally funded and supported circular economy and SDG goals. And I offer the cooperation to UN, to circular economy experts, and they refused because they said that Industry 5.0 will never survive. It did. And I hope it did well. So what is the 17 project? 17 means that they are the 17, COVID needs 17 months to put everything down on the planet. And I think humans are not worse than the clients, than COVID. I think we can do in 17 months, we can recover and restart a meaningful life, applying the principles which has been defined in 2013 already. The challenge started already on January 1st, 2022, and it will end up on May 2023. It opened to everyone. And this makes it different to other challenges, because usually in a challenge, just one winner is, but I would like to have 8 billion winners on my side. And the wealth is, I do not aim the wealth of few, but the wasteless world for all. And the change is the matter, not funds will deliver the change, but the strong will to change, and human must change first, as I said. The tools of transformation are core task management, which I explained just before this event, is the power of touch, because if you can touch your result of your work, you will remember it. You will not remember Excel sheet, but you will remember something which you touch with your hand. The 6R methodology, the GAR-H Academy, and how waste can be prevented. I spent 8 years to write a waste prevention legislation, 8 years of my time, of my life. In the meantime, I published over 3,500 articles, but this one took really 8 years. And here it is. Nothing that can be used or utilized again must become waste. Everything must be considered primary as a pre-waste existing resource and remain in the system. And in the secondary use or utilization is not limited to primary function of a product or material and can be executed by everyone respecting the regulation and safety conditions. And collecting, sorting, bulking, trade, and transportation should not be considered anymore as secondary utilization. And if not utilized on a primary location, it must be offered to others before being wasted. And please do understand, there is no waste if we do not waste. And waste is the result of process called wasting, and trust me or not a single legislation in the world, and I have studied many, contains the definition of wasting, so I did. Because wasting is a process in which product or material of any kind, form or volume become waste. In fact, wasting is a system failure and must be prevented first without any limitation or legal restriction. And wasting is not a feature of a product or material, but must a result of human behavior. And single use is one of the most common part of wasting. This is the waste prevention legislation. I have 2 more slides to end. We have made one big failure. We built our future on a promise and on a shape of a pyramid. But have you ever tried to stand on the top of a pyramid? It's a very unstable place over there. So I have recognized that a decade ago, and I started to think, okay, what can be the better groundstone for sustainable future? And I came with 6R, a cube which works quite well. And because of this, I will explain how it works. Firstly, you have to recognize that something must not become waste, and trust me, that's a very hard task, especially if you throw the item before in the garbage bin. But if you do, then come even a harder task to reconsider what to do with this product which you just saved. And trust me, it's really harder. But then the third one I love most. You realize the change. And maybe you fail for the first, second, third time, but then you will succeed. And the day you will succeed, you start to change the world yourself. So that's all from me. You know, I was born on a blue marble, and I would be happy, and I would hand over myself, the blue marble, to others, to you. I will not spend so much time in the wasteless world, but you will. If all of us work together and deliver the results. So that's from my presentation. Right now, there will be the time for discussion, for your questions. And sorry, I cannot see the questions during the presentation. But right now I'm here.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. And yeah, there was a point when you mentioned, right, that you will be surprised, that same line. So during your whole presentation, I was surprised. I guess everyone here must be, because of the facts, the numbers, the procedures, the way you explain every little thing, having those pictures, those real life pictures that everyone can relate to. And as you can already see everyone's reaction, they're clapping, there are hearts and everything. So it was really good, really, really, really awesome.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure. As I said, I cannot speak about something which does not touch me, which I did not touch by my hands. But I touch a lot. I am for more than 30 years in a system. So I am happy. And I have seen more than 200 people, which is really great.
Moving forward, we'll have our panel members to ask questions. So we'll have our panel number 1 here, which is Anshika. So Anshika, are you there? Anshika, can you unmute yourself if you're there? If no, then we'll move on to the next member.
Just a minute, just a minute. Yeah. Now I guess everybody can use your mic. Go.
Okay.
Good evening, Michael sir. Sir, I have one question. Listening to you and listening to the all what you have said, inspire us to do what we can contribute for the better environment, better planet Earth. But my question here is like we are doing a lot of industry developments, a lot of industry revolution has been taken. But what do you think has a negative impact on the society and environment? This is required or it is not required, or how it can be balanced out?
Just now, I'm not sure if I do understand the question right. You are asking whether we need so much industries.
Yes. Like what is the negative impact on the society? In spite of that, we need industries also.
I will explain it in quite a simple way. You probably do not know that there is a lot of systems, and at the moment, one of the system is completely broken, and this is the system which match the production volumes, and there should be the same should be the consumption volume. So it should be produced enough for us to eat and drink and ride and whatever. But few decades ago, I don't know when exactly, I will say around 60s, 70s probably, there started to be more produce because instead of the real consumption, a term of market demand has been introduced. But market demand is virtual number. It has nothing to do with the real consumption. And right now, more is being produced than consumed, which means we generally produce waste in a new product. So we do not produce only the waste as we know it, but even many new products are becoming waste. But because of this disharmony, the industries make so much damage. But if we harmonize it again, and this is the intention of Industry 5.0, we will stop producing so much. We will produce enough for everyone to live, but not too much. And this will be the impact, which among others is related to Industry 5.0. So I hope I was able to answer your question.
I hope you got your answer just now. Moving ahead, I have one request for all the members or the participants of the session. If you have a question, then please raise your hand so we can follow a systematic pattern. But now, again, I'll call Anshika. Anshika, please unmute yourself.
Thank you, Kashish. Hello, sir. It has been a privilege to listen to your thought-provoking session, and I would be glad if you could share some of your projects and initiative to create more sustainable world, which is free from waste.
One of the examples, for example, can be, you have seen these cable drums. In every factory which produce some electric cables, these cable drums are used, and many of those just a single way. So why? Because this cable drum, for example, we do not only return it to another factory, but we made out of it a furniture for school, for kindergarten, for a city. Or if you speak about, just let me show you something. If you speak about because every one of us have a lot of packaging in our hands, and I will show you something. Do you see this product? This is a purse. You see how big it is generally?
Yes, sir.
It's a fashion accessory. Do you know what it was made from? What do you think? You can open it. It's really a standard fashion accessory. It's hard to say. I will tell you. It's made out of used bags from potato chips.
Oh.
400 years old. A methodology called origami used with a new product. And what is interesting, this silver is generally aluminum layer, that's needed for the product to be more longer fresh generally. And this aluminum is a RFID blocker. So if you put your payment card inside, no scammer will came to your data, which we did not know. It was just a result, which it was a coincidence that we learned about. But there is even a small thing. Many people who arrive to my office see single-use bottles in my office, and they say, "You have evil." No, the single-use and the plastic is not evil. The plastic itself is not evil because it's another form of crude oil. There exists for over more than 50 years a methodology called pyrolysis, which can turn plastic back into crude oil. But why I have it here? You know, if I stop buying it, the producer will still produce it. So it's not a way to stop immediately. The way which I'm looking for is to find a solution, and I have found one. If I drink this bottle empty, I never throw it away immediately. I refill it. And this is one of the core tasks. Buy a single-use plastic bottle, but don't use it single time. And you will see how big impact it will have, because if you start to use it for a second time, you cut by half its carbon footprint. But you can use it up to 10 times, 20 times. It's nothing wrong with it. So these are small examples which you can try yourself, because there are many. In everyday life, you don't have to be in a factory. I will advise one more interesting project for you, for your school, for your university. A project, how the waste industry tricked our brains, because we have right now these different colors, bins, and so on, which are good. We will sort, but at the same time, these recycling bins are responsible for increase of waste, which sounds strange, but it is so. And the trial, which you can try, if in your classroom you usually have one garbage bins, try to put 2 inside. In few days, generally the second day, you will see, you will fill both of them. If you put there a 3rd garbage bin, the next day, all 3 will be filled. That's strange, because you did not change your behavior, but still you will fill all 3. Right now came the interesting part. And this is what the waste industry does. They put us more garbage bin close to us, and we fill more garbage bins. So simple it is. This is how the brain works. Right now, take 2 of the 3 away. The next day, the 1 will be overfloating. But the day after, it will be enough. And that's very strange. But this is how you reduce the waste, not by implementing more garbage bins. That does not work. Have less, because it will learn you to utilize the things which you have better. It will teach you not to buy single-use plastic bottle, but refill the reusable one. These are the small things, these core tasks, which I mentioned, which can help you to reduce the volumes of waste. And the industry can act exactly the same, just the volumes and the processes are slightly different. Did it answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
So we have a quick change here. Looking at the number of questions that our audience has, we'll put a stop on our panel questions and take the audience's question first. So the next question is by Lokendra Singh. It is how we can reduce the waste of human resources efficiency in terms of productivity.
I did not mention it in detail, but generally I am closely connected to logistics. And logistics is about efficiency. Unfortunately, the logistician should be responsible for efficiency, but instead of being so, many become firefighters, extinguishing one fire by setting up the next one. And this is how we create waste. One of the human waste is the improper use of the existing resources. Not only you as a student, generally in my country, until you are 18, as a child, you cannot work, or as a teenager, you cannot work officially. But developing an application, you can do, but still it's forbidden. So why? We have new technologies, we have new tools. I am not for a child work, but on the other hand, in India, India was the first country in the world who, from the point of the waste pickers, who I think it's a decade ago, who was the first in the world who generally legalized in some way the work of children, but not in a way to be exploited, but in a way to be rewarded for the work which they are doing. It's right. But at the same time, what about the seniors? These are the people. I am in a senior age, and nobody will employ me because with 50, I'm too old. Right now, they pay much more money to employ me, but as an employee, they will not employ me. I am overqualified, they call it, and I'm too old. But why? That's wrong. We have to establish the harmony, and this is the answer to the question. Let's establish the harmony between all these. Let's help to each other, and this is even the part of the Garage Academy. We have to look at the abilities of people. Do not limit them. Give them the opportunity. The waste prevention legislation is not just about the physical waste. No. In Industry 5.0, we recognize 4 types of waste. Physical, this is the trash. Social waste, these are people who cannot live meaningful life. Urban waste, these are buildings which are empty. Factories which are empty. In cities where people has no shelters, no roofs above their heads. And there is a process waste. And all these 4 you will find in every single business, factory, and so on. And for all these, this waste prevention legislation is applicable because it is here, it exists. So how to prevent it? Communicate. Don't limit the others. Listen to them and give them the chance to deliver the result. Delivering just promises does not help. Work together. That is the way how we can prevent the human waste to happen. And we do not have to speak only about the humans, we can speak even about the animals, because even the animals should live meaningful life. And meaning of a life is not to be killed and eaten. I do eat meat, not too much, but I do. But I do not agree with the way how it's being processed. So I will look at the next question.
Sure, sir.
Where are common barriers to implementing waste diversion programs in industrial waste? That's an interesting question. Generally, there are no barriers because I don't do anything illegal. I do all stuff which I do legal. And I will show you something which I developed. Before I develop it, I need to spend months in explaining how you can prevent waste happening on an industrial scale. Just now I have to put my notebook to the side a little bit because I need my hands to show it to you. So just imagine we are in one room, okay? And in this room, I am an old schooler and I am used to give you my business card. So I hand it over to you, you take it, everything is fine. Just now, please erase this memory. We never met before. There is one difference. We are not sitting in the same room, we are coming to each other, and in the middle between us, there is a complete new garbage, stainless steel garbage bin. I come to you, I fall down, and my business card fall in the garbage bin. Wow, I do not have any second one, but for whatever reason you would like to have it. So we look inside of the garbage bin, and we see there is nothing else than this one business card. You said, okay, Mr. Rada or Michael, please take it out. I will take it out from you. So I take it out, I check it, whether it's not damaged, dirty, or whatever. And just now came the interesting part. I hand it over to you. And if you take it from me as a business owner in Czech Republic, you have the right to become a penalty of 20,000 US dollars. This will be the most expensive business card in your life. And just now I will explain why. Because all over the world, the waste legislation was written by waste industry. And don't be misled. The core business of waste industry is not to clean the world. The core business of waste industry is to manage waste. If there will be more waste, more profit will be generated. This is why one of the definitions of waste which exists sounds following. Waste is something what you would like to get rid of. So if my wife would like to get divorced from me, I will become waste. You may smile, but this is a reality. According to this legislation, this is a reality. So this is not a good definition. I call it bad one. But there is another one which is close related to this business card. It says, waste is something which you locate on a location dedicated to waste storage, which means if this business card fall down in a garbage bin, it becomes waste. Just now I will show you a very interesting thing, which nobody told you before probably. Here, this hand, this is the edge of the business card, okay? Sorry, this is the edge of the garbage bin. Here is the business card. So here is the business card. Here is waste. This is how it works. You see, nothing happened with the business card, but it became waste according to the legislation, because the legislation is wrong. So what you can do to prevent this waste happen? Here, it's a profit. Here is cost because you have to pay for waste management. How you prevent the waste happen? You just stretch your hand. You cut in the middle, the process between product is becoming waste. This does not cost anything. You just change your mindset. Because here still it's a product. You can do whatever you want to do with it. Here you cannot, because here is waste. And this is how the waste prevention works for you in a factory. Just different is the size and scope. You for sure remember the image of the radish, full radish, which I had in my head. Next was the same radish in a garbage. It was refused by the buyer in a retail chain store because the leaves which human does not eat has been not green enough. And there was a full truck. The only process which happened with those, and I was standing then and crying, really crying. They take every single crate and throw it away immediately without thinking. Immediately goes to waste because they need the crates. They don't need the radish. And I said, why? Because we do not have time. It's wasted. They don't want it. So I take this crate home. I make smoothie out of it. I bake it. I freeze it. And I came the next week to the factory and I said, stop it. We will process it. And I have found companies which make smoothies out of it, bake it, freeze it, whatever. And just to imagine, this was client, which is one of the largest distributor of fruits and vegetables in my country. He in one warehouse, and he has 5, every single month, 400 tons become waste. So it's 2,000 in a month. And we are speaking about tons. So it's a huge amount. And we stop it just to look at it different way. And this is how you stop it in the industries. Every single, of course, the project here, for example, is the result of a company which produce out of waste. And the CEO says, and the founder says, Mr. Rada, this is nothing. So we cut it around and we came to him and we make a stand for his mobile phone. And this owner, he owned the factory for 30 years. He sat down in his chair and he was crying and he said, Mr. Rada, I never considered that we are throwing products in a waste. And he let us to make 1,000 of those for his clients as a Christmas gift. And we make it in a disabled warehouse workshops. And this is how you prevent it. This is the way how you do. You don't need to invest money. You just need to change your mindset. And you will not be less profitable. In contrary, you generate more money. I did not mention in my presentation one interesting number. A few years ago, I was preparing for the US president, for the advisor of US president. He asked me to prepare a cost estimation, how much money can be saved if globally waste will be prevented. It took us 5 years to come to the number. The number is 475 trillion US dollars. These are 12 zeros at the end, which means the richest man in the world, Elon Musk, wealth is 1.4, but we are speaking about 475. All industries together do not reach this number. And this is the waste which we are generating. These are the money which we are wasting. And if you come to a factory, I ask the CEO only one question. You can do the same. The question is, do you want to generate waste or profit? There is nothing in between. It can be waste or it can be profit. And in 8 years, I get only one answer, because not a single owner of a company prefer to generate waste instead of profit. This is why I'm so successful. So I hope it answered the question. The next one, there is no other one next, so we can continue if you want.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. We have already shared a form, which is more about certificates. If you have any question and you feel like it wasn't answered in the discussion that we had, you can put your questions there and we'll be happy to share it with Mr. Michael later. So moving towards the end of the session, I would like to call Mr. Ajay Chandil and Mr. Neeraj Bhanot sir to do the vote of thanks. So Ajay sir, can we have you? Ajay sir, you're on mute, I guess.
So before Ajay Chandal sir starts his, I'd like to give a small introduction about him to Mr. Michael. So Ajay Chandal sir is our the mentor of CHANAKYA Club. So he has been there to motivate us, and he's the one who helped us in reaching out to you. And that's what the memorable day has occurred. We wish to have him here, and we have Mr. Neeraj Bhanot as well. So he is our mentor. So we have 2 mentors here and 1 more Gunit. So the students are doing this much great, and we are focused so much on SDG because of staff like this. I'm really happy to welcome Mr. Ajay Chandal sir.
Thank you, Rahul, and thank you so much. Good evening, Mr. Rada, and
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone. Well, I really have goosebumps right now, and why, I'll tell you in a while. There are days that pass by and are soon forgotten, but then there are some days that stand out like red letters day. And I believe that today is one such day. I and every participant will remember long after this session ends. Mr. Rada, in the beginning, you said that you are not a hero, but let me tell you one fact, that you are a hero to every environment enthusiast. I would take it as an opportunity to personally thank you for being with us today, despite your busy schedule. I'm humbled that you could make it and grace this small event with your thought-provoking session. And I'm sure that these words of wisdom, which they will help spread the much needed awareness to create a world free from waste. I'm also sure that working on your footsteps, students will channelize their energy to this outcome. Thank you so much, sir, for being with us. And I'm a big fan, I must tell you. And I'm sure the students after today's session will contribute and will lend a helping hand to make the world we dream and we envision in the future. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Thank you for your words. Thank you for your time, because every single one of the students, including you, every single one who was in the audience, you gave me the most valuable what you have. You gave me your time. And
Thank
if
you so
this
much.
time was not wasted, which I do believe, then I am really looking forward to close cooperation. Today we signed another cooperation with Mohan Kumar in India generally, who will help us to implement Industry 5.0 in universities up to the governmental level. And I really, for me, India is one of the leading countries in Industry 5.0. The only thing is, please be careful. Many try to use it only as a buzzword. Don't trust them. Industry 5.0 is not a sales tool. It's a new global ecosystem which is existing, which is not new. It is here. I created it. Why I call myself the founder? I was the first one who on December 1st, 2015, published an article which put Industry 5.0 name together with the content. There was nobody in the world before. You cannot patent the name because it's too general. But from the intellectual property point of view, I can count myself or call myself a founder, or I call myself a father of Industry 5.0. Regarding the comment on heroes, I don't feel like hero. Many call me visionary. You know, I prefer to be called human. And every time I say it, I have a goosebumps. I have on my business card even the title president. And it's not so powerful for me when I stay on stage. Like now, I see 200 of you in front of me. And I can say, my name is Mike Rada. I am human. And you see my voice is, I'm really emotional touched by this, because I never expected that to be a human is so powerful. And I thank you for your words, and I thank all the students and all the participants that you really take the time. And I would be very happy not to end up our cooperation, no, to start our mutual cooperation and really deliver it, because every single one will right now leave home or come next day to your school or office and come with a changed mind. Because right now you already have all the tools which you need, these hands and your head and the information. So let's work together. And I have to wish you all have a nice time, free of waste and wasting in all its forms. Stay safe. And in the last 14 days, I add one more, be free.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Neeraj, I'm sure you want to.
Very good evening, Mr. Rada. Though Ajay sir has already said, what could have been said in your appreciation for the session, but I must say I really enjoyed. I can see myself with a changed mind after a few days with the direction you have just shown in the session. I would definitely like toward the footsteps that you have shown in the session. And as you said, I will really look for collaborations. As you said, I will really work hard toward the same. And me and Ajay sir, we will definitely get back to you with some valuable collaboration soon. Thank you so much for your valuable time, sir.
Thank you. I just add one more information, which I forgot to mention during the speech. Many people ask me, who is the role model of Industry 5.0, considering, I will say, Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos. There is only one role model, nature. Because nature does not waste. And this is why I did not create a revolution, because a revolution has something, all revolution has something similar. Firstly, revolution kills someone. That's because you have to change, you have to kill. The second, you can pay the soldiers more and they will kill for you. So you can buy a revolution. And the third one, if you analyze industrial revolution, you will come to the fact that they are shorter and shorter, but generally half the time. Industry 4.0 was unofficially introduced in 2011 in Germany, and it took 2 years to be officially, so in 2013. But in 2013, I started my work because I already realized what's wrong about it. So And this is why I started evolution, because evolution is here for millions of years, with human or without, it will be here. And the second interesting point about this is the fact that once evolution starts, you cannot end it. Maybe it will be slower. But I don't ask the people who would like to do the same, don't be like me, don't do the same like me, be yourself. Because every single one of you is a human, every single one is original. You have the knowledge which I do not have. If you put my brain in your head, it will not work. If I put your in my, it will not work. It's not needed. And the result must not be perfect, but there must be a result. That's the important part. And I am really would be happy if we work together, as you said, with all your students, because your students show up even in the preparation of the event, even in preparing these jingles and so on. They show up the interest, they show up the understanding the topic. And this is so important. So let us work on the construction side of Wasteless World together. And I would like to ask all of you, but I can ask only 4 of you at the moment, which are on the screen. Let's make one thing, which I do with all my ambassadors. I would like to end up the conversation when I will see all 4 of you with this sign and make a screenshot out of it. This sign does not mean I am number 1. No, it means we follow one aim, and this is to build Wasteless World. So if you put more of us on a camera, because right now I see only myself in a view, then we can make the same. But I don't see you because the view has changed generally.
Is there a way we can adjust the screen accordingly?
If you go to the view, you will find
I
the
just
gallery.
see it. Yeah, I just see a lot of you. So if you can switch your camera on.
Please, everyone, switch on your camera. Please, everyone, let's
or
together.
At least if you cannot switch the camera, you can put this the finger up thumbnail, or the, how it's called, the smiley thumbnail on it. And let's make a screenshot and show up that we are on the same boat, that we are on the construction side of Wasteless World. That's unbelievable. Thanks a lot. That's really, I can't believe. So let me make the screenshot. Smile, please. 3, 2, 1. Let me check whether it's saved, because sometimes it does not save. It is here. So I would like to thank you all for your time. And as I said, let's build Wasteless World together. This planet is worth it.
The pleasure is
Thank you.
all ours, sir. It will always
Thank you
be.
so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Michael. Thank you so much, Ajay sir, Neeraj sir. And thank you so much, everyone who was here. I was wishing to ask for a selfie, for a virtual picture, but you already did, sir. So that's it. With this, we come to the end of the session. If you have not filled the form yet, please make sure you fill it in order to get your certificates. And we'll end the session here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
If anyone still has a question after the session, you can ask me on. The best way to connect with me is please send invitations through LinkedIn. I cannot send you my invitation because I'm limited in the number, but if you send it, I will accept it. I can put in a chat, if still available, I can put my LinkedIn profile. There are already 7 of you sent to me the invitation, which I see, and I put there just the link to my LinkedIn profile. Please send me an invitation, I will accept it. This is the best way to connect with me. I publish everything first on LinkedIn, so that's for me the first tool which I use. I use other social media as well, but LinkedIn is the main one. So any more question out of the official part? But it's